Hello everyone and welcome to the LSST Student Voices Webinar. This January, LSST student could ask the Bosch Global Leadership Team how technology will make the world a better place. In this meeting, one thing became clear, and we would like to find the answers and solution for the question why women are highly underrepresented in the technology sector. But before we start, I would like you to meet the team. My name is Zsófia Borbély and I'm a student ambassador, and I've been honored to work with Ankuta Hapon, student ambassador, Ankuta Rakashan, senior student ambassador, and Kunal Chand Mehta, our PR manager. He guided us through this journey. Now let's see what will be covered in this webinar. Background of gender disparity in the UK tech sector, research objectives, and in the end, some conclusions and recommendations. Technology is, without a doubt, the driving force behind societies worldwide. But gender disparity still exists and is broad and deep. Did you know in the entire tech sector only 24% are women? This means that only 1 in 5 women work in tech. Research has identified that women are still underrepresented in the UK tech sector. According to Bloomberg, this also extends to salaries. To understand the reasons behind the gender gap, we carried out a survey to discover more. We were delighted to find out that our survey had a considerable interest among students. Now let's see what research objectives are going to be covered. Research Objective 1. Identify the factor behind the gender gap in the UK tech industry. Research Objective 2. Determine if UK tech companies have developed enough initiatives to encourage more women into the tech sector. Research Objective 3. Develop a framework that associates specific factors with the gender gap. Research Objective 4. Describe possible solutions to overcome the gender gap in the tech industry. Before I hand over to Ankuta Hapon and Ankuta Rakashan to present you the webinar, we would like to thank all the 1027 LSST students who participated in our survey. Thank you! Now please welcome my lovely colleagues and enjoy the webinar!
Thank you, Sofia, for handing it over. My name is Ankuta Hapon and I'm going to present further the aim of why women remain underrepresented in the UK tech industry. Our webinar is going to assess what drives turnover and affect the retention of women in the tech industry and how the tech industry needs to change to provide equal opportunities for women. The findings for the Harvey Nash Tech Survey 2021 discover there are still not enough initiatives in place to promote the female participation in this industry. Another report outlined that women's career progression has been affected by COVID-19. A more optimistic report from ONS pointed out an increase of women working in tech from 24% as stated in the WISE report to 41%. So let's proceed further and look at the first research objective, which is going to identify the factors behind the gender gap in the UK tech sector. The female participation in our survey was 65%, comparing with 35% of men. Our first research objective is based only on primary data from the question 1, question 7 and question 10, so please stay close for an analysis in the next slide. Out of 1,027 LSST students, 45% consider that social background is interfering when women want to choose the tech sector because they are discouraged by the education system, culture, and social environment. The second factor, with 47%, is that the recruitment process favors men because tech companies cannot provide flexible working hours, so why women tend to leave at twice the rate of men. And the third reason is the stereotypical parenting with 18%. To address the gender gap inequality, reduce turnover, companies must embed diversity and inclusion into the company by ensuring women and men have equal access to strategic projects and promotion. Businesses must embrace progressive practices in recruitment and mentoring, and not lastly offer some flexibility to women. If in the previous slide we analyzed the factors behind the gender gap, now our research is going to determine if the UK tech companies have developed enough initiatives to encourage more women into the tech industry. Our second research objective is also based on primary data from question 4, 6 and 8 from our survey. Our survey highlighted that 80% of the LSST students never worked in the tech sector, but they are considering to improve their skills, 84% of them. Our research and analysis clearly identified that 84% of LSST students, in which 52% of them are women, are willing to develop their tech skills to a higher level to improve their career prospects. Even if initiatives and programs have been created throughout the time, the gender gap still exists, and our survey highlighted some ambiguity, with only 35% of students agreeing that some UK companies are encouraging more women to work in the tech sectors. 21% of our students said no initiatives have been created so far, while 44% of the students are considering that maybe some steps have been taken to reduce the imbalance between men and women, which leads to the general conclusion there is still high gender disparity into the UK tech sector.
Thank you, Ankuca Hapun, for explaining the first two research objectives. Let me hand over to our next great presenter, who will explain the remaining ones.
Thank you for handing it over. My name is Ankuca Răcășan and I will take you through the next research objectives. Research Objective 3. To develop a framework that associates specific factors with the gender gap. This research objective is based on secondary data only. According to UCAS, only 24% of women are working in the tech sector, which is negatively impacting the gender pay gap. Based on STEM Women Report, some of the solutions are as follows. Recruitment practices can cut the UK tech sector gender pay gap. Flexibility, respectful and inclusive culture, and shared parental leave. Diversity in tech should be seen as a sustained cultural shift, not a project. All the research conducted so far concluded that reducing the gender pay gap in the tech industry will reduce the mean and median gender hourly pay gap at half. Research Objective 4. To describe possible solutions to overcome the gender gap in the tech industry. This research objective is analyzing primary data from our survey. Question 3. How confident are you in using technology? Question 5. How can LSST help you to understand the gender gap better? We are delighted to find out that LSST students are confident in using technology. They are willing to improve their tech skill by enrolling in tech courses provided by LSST, 44%, followed by attending webinars, 32%, and not lastly, 24% wish for more tech opportunities to be created for women. By creating these opportunities for its students, 65% who participate in the survey are women. LSST will contribute to the promotion of the tech sector for women and not lastly create a skilled workforce meant to address the estimated tech labor shortage of 4.3 million. To address this concern, both the tech industry and the education sector should work together and evolve the technology skills for the UK to overcome the 1.1 million computing-related jobs. Next, we are analyzing question 9 from our survey. Do you think the gender pay gap still exists in the tech industry? The participants in our study have mixed views on this matter, with 41% of students scrutinizing yes, while the other 45% are undecided, maybe. Only 14% of the students are considering there is a no gender pay gap involved.
Thank you, Ankutsara. What a strong subject and great numbers. Before we are going to the conclusion part, let me add some extra facts to the research objectives. The social role framework is that gender stereotypes and social environment deepen the inequality in the tech sector. Technology sector is influencing the hourly gender pay gap negatively because it's men predominant, 76%. The conclusion is that by improving gender distribution in the tech sector, a reduction in the overall gender pay gap will be seen. Conclusions and recommendations. The recommendation suggested is that LSST should engage with higher STEM and run sessions for students as part of promoting the tech sector. Last but not least, create a skilled workforce meant to address the estimated tech labor shortage of 4.3 million according to the gov.uk. However, for the digital gender gap to be narrowed and for LSST female students to get a chance to get into the tech industry, more action should be undertaken, such as providing LSST webinars and introducing tech courses. Please choose what you believe might reduce the gender gap in the tech sector. So we made it to the end. We would like to thank you for your attention and being here and participating in our survey. You can ask questions and express your suggestion in the live Q&A session. And please don't forget to check out the news on the lsst.ac/news website.